Can you rewind to turn 3?
I am now, so you're good.
So can you point, I'm sorry to do this too. Can you point out where I should be in 3 again? So I can just kind of hard code this into my brain.
Yeah. So again, the whole idea. Okay, so let's think at it. Let's think a little bit differently. Okay, what is our goal? What is our goal in 3, 4, 5?
To
Because
make it as straight as possible.
no, our goal is to have the bike in the right position for 5.
Okay, right.
Do you see? Do you see how that
Yeah.
works?
Yep.
So that's
Yep.
how we're looking at that. So because that leads into a very, very fast section of track, right? When you're traveling way more feet per second than you are in this section. So
Right.
our goal is, let me undo that. Our goal is this: having the bike in a position to be accelerated. Great.
Right.
And I imagine, is that red dot my slow point there? Or?
No, that's just the point in the track. Unfortunately,
Yeah, no
there's
worries,
no
no
way to,
worries. Okay.
to do.
So, okay, great. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. And okay, so let's look at some ways of how you do it. I guess I want to say how you do it wrong. And how you would do it wrong is if you were low in here, and I'm overdrawing it, right? Then you're making this radius too tight.
Yeah.
Just as in, if you come out super wide here and then try to like square it off, well, the problem is it takes you, I'm going to make it up. It takes you 4/10 of a second to do that, and you're not going anywhere. It's like you're adding a whole. It's like you're adding 2 segments that you don't need to have.
Right.
So okay, so that's why we're doing what we're doing. And the nice thing is, I'll tell you what, that Garmin Catalyst in the car is really good for this, because the Garmin Catalyst it has such, like, I don't know, it has 85 segments. And so you can go in and and I've done it, tried different lines on purpose and gone back and looked at the data, and it'll absolutely tell you what's faster or slower. It'll do whatever algorithm it does and say, you traveled 83 more feet and we're 2 miles an hour slower. It's like, great. Okay, cool. So that's what we're trying to accomplish. So what's important then is getting the bike's direction done earlier. Everybody thinks the direction changes here. It's not. It's much earlier. And why is that? Because the exit of 5 opens up.
Right.
So again, you're drawing it backwards, right? Where do you want to, where do you want to be? So again, I'm going to kind of overdraw it, right? So you're doing something like this, and then you're trying to connect those 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're trying to do with the direction changes. So to accomplish that is by being in 3, if you're straight down there, you can be straight down in 4, and there's just not a lot of movement. And again, if you're making this swoopy or holding on to it, then you don't have any acceleration. I don't know if I got the full throttle on your bike between 3 and 4, but I might have.
It was close. I can't remember exactly, but it was close.
Yeah. Anyway, and then what I'm trying to do is use the roll off, time the roll off to get the bike to turn, and less time and distance right there.
Right.
So, okay, so what are your goals? Your goals are to be disciplined by having the proper direction here, which will give you the proper direction here. And as soon as the bike kind of drops, then your vision focus point is then the apex of 5.
Right. Okay.
Don't get all jacked up about looking at anything here. You're going to waste your time. I literally tried to find stuff out there for a year, and I ended up wasting my time doing it.
Okay.
Okay. And that's just why you're late on that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wouldn't get jacked up about where you ended up there. It was just a lot of it just because you went to the brakes a little bit early. This is fine here. Mark stays a little bit wider, but a lot of it's just because you went to the brakes a little bit earlier than he did, so it just kind of sucked you in. But there's nothing wrong with this. This is fine. And then just, yeah, late getting direction on that one.
But see, yeah, hugging that, holding that radius too long again.
So here, at this point, once you've released the brake, what are you looking at?
Where? On
After the brake release in 6.
then I mean I look for the grandstands and looking for the flag on the left hand corner, and then I just keep rotating my head.
The corner worker station on the left, or the
Ultimately, but no, there's the grandstand, the bleachers. Yep. When we went on the car ride with Joe, that was helpful because that's what he had pointed out.
Yep. So I think in here, I mean, I think you ended up with just too much throttle too early in here, because look how you jump away from Mark and then you roll off, but by the time you roll off, the direction's late.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way that I would do this, as far as what you're trying to accomplish, is this is fine. Go back to the throttle here, but just go super slow in the middle of 6 until you get the exit correctly. Because you end up being late, right? And then your trajectory coming off in here is screwed up, and then you can't use all the throttle that you want to use. Same thing there. Really interesting on that initial throttle. I haven't looked at your data to compare your initial throttle to mine. And then again, see what you do is you end up making this like 2 corners. Watch. So like you go to the throttle and then you roll off and then you accelerate again.
Right.
So if you were to look at, what, and I'm making it, and it'd be fun to look at the data on this, but after you release the brake, right, you're picking the throttle up and you're like, okay, that's great. Oh shoot, I'm going to be late for that apex. I better drop the throttle, hold it. Okay, now I can accelerate again. Where mine is more like that.
Right. Yep, I believe it. Yeah, I was definitely being impatient.
Yeah, I mean, do we have data for that corner? Let's look.
I mean, I do. It wouldn't take me too long to pull it up.
Oh, no. I thought you added data on here.
In my huge tome.
That's okay. I mean, I mean, yeah, this is great, but I mean, I know how long this took you to do.
It helps me process everything.
Yeah, that's fine.
It might be closer to the beginning if I did. Maybe I didn't do that for that one.
Oh, no, you did. I'm sure you did. Hang on here. It's just a question of where is it, of which.
Maybe I didn't do one with the throttle data.
Well, this one has throttle for sure, but I mean, you can definitely see in just some of the throttle traces. And again, it depends on the corner a little bit, but like even here, right? I mean, you're way earlier than the throttle than I am, and then you've got to give it up. Here, same thing, and then you got to give it up. Same thing here, and then you got to give it up.
Right.
So something to think about is slowing that 0 to 40 down a little bit. All right.
Fair enough. Oh God, that just hurts for me to see.
You're supposed to be afraid of lean angle. See how much lean angle you had in there? Holy crap.
I know. Well, that's part of it. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like, holy crap, just diving into this thing at 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, look at the lean angle.
Making a liar out of myself.
No, it's all good. Yeah, Mark's 11. I mean, I'm not a fan of that, and I've got
Oh,
data.
that
Oh,
was to
he's
let
like,
some, he was
oh,
letting
was it
something
okay?
through. I think, I thought,
Yeah, he
yeah.
did. Good 12. Here, we'll jump up a little bit. Yeah, that's better right there. Pretty good.
That's
That's
better.
perfect. That's perfect. Perfect.
See, and I held it too long
No, you turn too much.
for
You
the
watch.
left.
Yeah. You're not, this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. You see, this is perfect.
Right.
But watch. You like try to drag your knee in there.
Wasn't my intention.
No, but I mean that you're treating that like it was a 90-degree corner or something.
Right. Okay.
Where it's
And
just it's straight.
okay. So if I had kept that instead of adding,
Perfect. It was
turning
perfect.
it left, just kept
So
it
the whole
upright.
idea here is you stay straight until you feel the bike drop.
Okay.
Because you'll feel it G out there. And then again, you make a big turn out of this. And then now you're gonna be, I can guarantee you're basically gonna be screwed up for 5. Not a bad exit right there, but you get the idea.
Yeah. Could be a lot better.
And I'm not sure what Mark was doing.
He does go out wide there. I think he was just trying to get in front of me this time.
He was, yeah. He doesn't normally, I know he normally doesn't run that line. Yeah, he was just trying to do a little lead follow with you there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. I mean, your chicane's fantastic.
Thank you. I'm still not using as much track as it. He actually goes out on the white paint, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's times I've been out there too. This is fine. A little bit late.
All late.
Yep. And now, yeah, I think honestly, Aaron, I think the problem is you're overturning forward.
I'm overthinking it.
Well, I mean, think about where do you want to be? You want to be straight. And I'm not, I mean, where are you thinking you're going there?
Just for a tour, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but see how you overturn it?
Yep.
And then you accelerate.
And then
And
I
now
roll out and then I go back.
Yep. Correct. Yeah, so the issue there is you're just overturning 4.
And see, I always feel like I'm getting to that first apex too late.
In 6?
Yeah. I mean, being a big wide expanse, I suppose it doesn't technically matter so much, but I would still like to be more precise.
I mean, this is perfect in here. This is great.
But I don't know where to turn in, what rate.
It's a very slow turn-in rate. And if you look to the curve on the right, you'll see that ends up being an okay reference. So you can't see the curb yet, but now you see the curb here.
The curve on the right. Okay.
And Mark is like, he's starting his turn in slightly before the curb on the right, but look how slow his turn in is. So you're turning in too late, too quick. And that's
Okay.
why you end up low.
Yeah.
And that's actually part of the problem too, right? You end up low, so then you're
Just
kind of
stuck.
you're stuck in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's part of the problem here as well. That's perfect. Perfect. Same thing though, too much throttle, then you let off.
Yeah.
And still late in 9.
Yeah. So really going into 9, I mean, if you're doing it right, I mean, if you exit 8 right, you know, and you're using the track, I mean, it's
You
not,
you
it's
basically never
you're not turning again.
No, you're not. At pace. The difference is like when you're doing, and I'm going to make it up, right? If you're doing a 210 with chicane, you're not going fast enough. You've got a lot of time where you can do that. But
Sure.
if you start doing around 2 minutes, yeah, you don't have any time. I mean, it's just it's kind of one big arc.
Yeah. See, yeah,
Late.
probably too fast to the throttle, and so I can't get over to the left.
Yeah. And then also you actually got in there a little bit deep because you're not even picking the throttle up until you get to the apex. Watch.
Yeah.
And then you pick the throttle up at or past the apex.
Yep.
Yeah, you kind of have a lot of the late quick turn-ins on this lap. Like, I mean, so let's talk about that, right? Watch 13. I mean, it worked that works for 13 because that's what that radius is, right? It's more than 90 degrees. It's very slow. So watch your turn in. See how that turn in is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because that's what that turn dictates. But even that one's a little quick, but not bad. And I think that's what we see in some of these other corners, like a 6.
Yeah, and I think that's what I default to, because if I don't have a visual reference, if I don't know exactly where I'm at, then I wait until I see something that is familiar. And if I see it too late, then I've got to respond correspondingly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that in that case, again, it's just yeah, maybe doubling down a little bit more on some turn in points. Like that was fantastic there. That was pretty good.
Little late.
Yeah,
Slightly.
and then you're just making that big turn for 4. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, I think what other place besides 3, 4, 5 were you wondering?
Well, the 6 turn in.
Yeah.
And then that whole thing with 8, you know, kind of the 8, 9 thing, not feeling like I knew exactly where I was or should be. Mostly, yeah, 8's a big one for me.
See how Mark just started his turn in behind you.
Yeah.
And see how he gets to the apex sooner.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just as simple as, again, you're just turning in a little bit late for there. And that's what puts you low. So you're in low. So you feel like you need to go somewhere. Then you try to go somewhere. And then that's late. And then the exit's compromised.
Yeah. Yeah. It just kind of snowballs from there.
Yeah. And I agree. When you're at pace from 8 to 9, once you've exited at 8, you kind of don't turn again.
Yeah. Yeah. See, that's the problem. I'm like,
Well,
in
actually,
that
the
gray
problem is
area.
no. Okay, but no. But the problem is you exit 8 low.
Right. Right. That's true.
So you exit 8 low, and then you try to get it back for a turn in for 9, and then you're late. So look, see how you're making another correction there,
Yeah.
and then you're like, okay, I'll accelerate, then I'll turn in again. But because it's late, you got to look at the lean angle. Good Lord. But
I
it's
know.
because, again, you're treating it like a 90-degree corner. But again, that stems back from the exit of 8 not being correct.
Right. Okay.
So I think the big takeaways here are we got your 3, 4, 5 pretty much figured out. We just now need to go execute it.
Yeah.
Turn in for 6 into the curb. And I think that's actually going to fix a lot of your mid corner issues in 6.
Mhm.
And being slower till you get to exit a 6 right. Slower throttle hand exiting 8. On the exit of 8, slower throttle hand, and 1 continuous arc out of 9. And then, yeah, slower throttle hand out of 11. Yeah, I think that's plenty to work on.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I will obsess over this until, next week when we're back. So
Good.
the stuff does actually sink in. I mean, even if it is kind of a big laundry list, a good portion of it will actually sink in ahead of time.
I have no doubt. Yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
So if you get a chance sometime, check out the that profile I sent you. I know that you've always got a ton of stuff on your plate.
Yeah, I mean, RS3 right now, the only thing that I want in RS3 is, well, I'll tell you what I want in RS3. But even in your RS3, like, I don't know. Well, that's video, or this hearing on. I don't know how in RS3, like this right graph, I don't know how you blow that up so much. I can only keep it in that little cube.
Oh, there's a zoom button on it, so you can zoom in and out, and if you've got a scroll.
Yeah, but you can't make it any bigger than that area.
Oh, well, you can resize the panels a bit if you want to.
Yeah, you'll have to, well, maybe one day this week, when you've got a couple hours or an hour, and it'd be Tuesday or Wednesday, then we can jump on. That's right now the only thing I want to be able to do on RS3 is to be able to look at the track map with measures. But I don't know if you figured that out yet.
Yeah. So yeah, if you've got the speed trace pulled up at the same time, and even if you resized it so that the speed trace is a very small panel, then you pick, let's say you want the slow point, so you pick that out, and then it'll show as the dot on the map.
Yeah, that'll be that's right now. That's all I need from it, and then I'll continue to deal with the rest of it later. But right now, yeah, I got my hands full with enough of this stuff.
Yeah, I did change the grips out on the Daytona because you said they were sticky, so I got brand new.
They were weird. Yeah, they were weird, but
they didn't feel sticky when I got home. So I don't know, but whatever. I've got brand new ones on it. There was a little tear in one of them anyway. One other thing that I noticed on my data that because that is a little weird that I'm not used to seeing. I have tried to reduce the amount of off the coasting time. And I am seeing a tendency to have a slight overlap where I've got less than 1 bar of brake pressure, but I am starting to go to throttle.
Yeah, the hand needs to reset.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just not sure why I'm doing that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're holding your fingers out and staying on the brake while you're trying to crack it on, yeah, I mean, it not only is it easier on your wrist, but the reset is actually better for getting the weight off of your hand, and so you're also doing, in your brain, you're doing 2 separate movements. Either I'm on the brake, I'm releasing the brake, or I'm on the throttle. So it's a deliberate reset.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm got to try to be more conscious of that because I don't want to end up, as I go faster, I don't want to end up trying to do both at the same time.
Well, no. What ends up happening is that you'll panic at some point. Somebody will fall down in front of you or something, and you'll be on the throttle and you'll be on the brake and you'll stab it. I have seen that multiple times, so it does not go well.
No, I can't imagine it does.
So, all right, cool.
Yeah. Gonna go to Sonoma for do a few laps at the kart track and probably bring the Ninja too in the 100.
Awesome.
And do you think that bringing the Ninja up to the Ridge is a worthwhile thing? Should I
If
bring
you
that?
want data, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. Will you take it out too?
Oh, of course. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, if you want data on it,
Okay,
absolutely.
yeah. No, I think that'll be fun.
I think it'll be really fun. And yeah, you'll finally get some good data on it. So I think that'll be super fun.
But I think that might also help me. Just doing it at the tracks, riding that bike at the tracks I know has definitely helped me pick up reference points,
Yeah.
visual cues that I didn't have with the big bike.
Agreed. Yeah, and maybe you spend the first morning on it or something. I think that'll be super fun, quite honestly.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, data on the CRF 100, 50 and 49 degrees of lean angle.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Pretty fun.
All right. Thanks, Aaron.
All
I will.
right.
I'll send this to you after it gets done downloading.
All right. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate your time. Good luck with everything there.
All right, we'll chat.
All right. Best.